Hello friends and followers. Well, here's the HRO 500 receiver, which I think people are tired of me blogging about it, but I gave it some attention today and spun the knobs with a drill, and the knobs came out rather ducky. As you can see, they're nice and clean now. The little moon faces were filthy, so they all got spun with a drill. A little bit of dirt there, but all in all, I'm happy with the result. That one has some crud there, but that's how it goes. That's got some crud. This one was really dirty, actually. This one I bought off eBay. It's a Raytheon knob. I think it's better than what they had on here. If I could buy this one, but I can't seem to find this one. I've bought a bunch of knobs and they don't fit. They're all too small. People don't publish the real sizes of knobs, so I gotta find a little moon for that knob. And the same with this one. These are all like 1/8 inch shaft. I think this is like a 3/8 shaft, and that's a 1/4. No, that's a 1/8 shaft. Anyway, the knob's all cleaned up nice. I guess I gotta spin this one too. This one's kind of got some crap on it. It's not real bad, but I'm a little afraid to spin this one in the drill, but maybe we'll see. So yeah, the radio's on. As you can tell, the synthesizer is still fussy. When I tap it, it'll unlock, but hey, you know, it locks again, so that's a bonus, right? I'm not sure if all these radios do this, but this one does. It's taken me a lot of work to get this thing to work right. I can't say it's working perfectly, but 3 of the bands work perfectly. The other 2 need calibrated. Actually, 3. This band and this band work. Just need calibrated better. That works fine. That works fine. So these bands here, 5, 1, and 2, all use the same oscillator coil for the low oscillator, and I've thought about breaking those up into 3 different coils, but I don't know. I just focus now on cleaning up the case. So yeah, I did paint the case. I used Ford automotive paint. What the heck was the color with this thing? It was like some kind of slate. I thought it was like a slate blue. So when I sprayed the can onto this thing, I thought, crap, that, you know, I was trying to match the original color and I didn't. And now I'm glad that the color was wrong, because I like this color so much better than the weird color this thing came with. I love it, love it, love it. So I like the fact that the knobs now match the box. Before they didn't. It looked like this thing was like part of a swimming pool, so with that color. So yeah, that worked out good. I've got light bulbs in the thing now, so this lights up, and this little light lights up too. It's not very bright, but yeah, it works. I mean, you can change the synthesizer now and it'll unlock, and it'll lock where it should usually. Come on, don't make me a liar. Well, it's not gonna lock there, is it? It's trying. It's thinking about it. It'll lock here. It'll lock there. There's my dog. It'll lock there. Anyway, it works mostly. Change the band. Let's see if this will lock. Yeah, it locks. This band locks pretty good, actually. It's a pretty good band. What's he barking about? This band is way off in calibration, but it does lock. It's off about 20 megahertz, but it will lock, as you can see. So the whole thing of this radio is getting it to lock and then keeping it to lock. So this thing's basically fixed. I just got to calibrate some of the bands now. Like these lower ones work, but they're way out of calibration. I mean, this is calibrated perfectly. It's just a matter of when you try to lock it, that is out of calibration. So when I head down here and there's 1.0, well, that locks. Look at that. Does it only go to 1.0 there? Yeah, it does. That's the end. So 1.0 locks. It'll probably lock prematurely here, or no, there it's locking there. So almost locks. It's almost calibrated. It's pretty close. .5 down here. It should lock somewhere. Come on. No, it's not going to lock at 0. This is like your ultra low frequency band down here. Well, maybe this needs some work yet. What about this band here? This is like broadcast band stuff. I had this working. I haven't used a radio in a while. I've just been painting it and fixing it, making it look nice, but I haven't really. It mostly works. I mean, it will receive everything if you're patient, locking it in places where it doesn't calibrate, but it'll lock everywhere. Just a matter of it doesn't line up on the scale on these two bands. And this one, it doesn't line up perfectly, but otherwise it works like a champ. So it's getting there. All right, how's the inside of this thing look? Well, here's the sides. The sides look nice now, except for the dents and gashes from the previous owners. The case came out nice. So I'm trying to get it back to looking as ducky and spiffy as it can. I want to get this cleaned up. I'm not sure how to get that black crap out of there, but probably emery cloth and just scraping off the aluminum. I don't know what else to do with that. But it's coming along. And what about the inside, if I can get this thing off of here? Fixing the S meter in this thing was a real headache. I finally got that thing out. That was hard to, it was hard to get this little pin thing out, this little lock thing out to get the S meter to move up, to get it out. I found inside the S meter there was just a loose connection, so that was a lucky find. So inside here, I painted all these because they were kind of grubby with silver paint. Boy, they're getting dusty already, aren't they? I painted this one, I think, and that one, and I cleaned up the inside. It was really horrific when I got this thing. It was a mess, but being from Nevada, I'm not sure where this radio is from, but I got it here in Nevada, so it didn't have any rust in it, thank God. So it just had lots of dirt and it all cleaned up. So that's that. I wouldn't mind getting some lights in here that are not blue looking, but that's not a priority. Anyway, I still got some electrical work to do on this thing to get it to calibrate better, but it works. It could stand now a calibration of all the different features like the bandwidth and maybe the lower IF could be calibrated now, or at least checked out. It does receive everywhere, but it may not receive like new until I go through all that, but it does do a good job. So that's the story. I still got my debug LED in there for the lock unlock stuff. Yeah, and I did get this little string on here working again, which was painful. So yeah, when you change bands, a lot of stuff happens. It's not as bad as a Swan, but when you turn the band switch, you know, everything has to be copacetic in this thing. So it turns this little mask, and it turns the spectrum generator for the harmonics. Lots of stuff goes on. So yeah, this radio's been a real trip. I think some hippies that were on some strong acid developed this thing in Walden, Massachusetts. Somebody was really high when they made this thing. It's a brainchild of a genius. It really is. All right, well, that's my little rendition. Yeah, so I want to finish this thing, get it to calibrate perfectly, and maybe use it with a Swan. I've been working on a Swan radio, as you know, so I think this will be the receiver for the Swan for AM, and the Swan will transmit AM, and I'll use the Swan on sideband too. So that's the story. And been running this thing on DC. It'll run an AC. I just gotta buy a power cord. It's got a weirdo power cord that is like for an old-fashioned electric shaver. Here's the back of it, if I can catch it with the phone here or not. Let's see. Turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, sorry about that. Here's the back of it. The back. I just put painter's tape over this and shot the case. Came out pretty good. Yeah, this is like semi-gloss stuff, and I put a little too much on here, so it got some gloss on the top, just some gloss right here. But I like it without the gloss, really. Looks nice. Looks very, very, very nice. It sure looks better than when I first got it. So, yep. It's probably the only HRO that has this kind of paint on it. Anyway, I'm happy with how it turned out. It's been fun restoring it. I still gotta find these knobs. Good luck with those. And I want to get this one cleaned up a little bit. Get this cleaned up. As far as aesthetics, I can't do much for the aluminum rail here. I don't think it's chewed up from going from pillar to post. Whoever had this thing or wherever it's been, I don't know. It's probably banged all around the world. All right, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Again, the HRO 500. The finest radio available in 1965.